Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator 21. Chapter 21 The Spiritual Invasion of the Three Cuckoo Sisters. After figuring out who had kidnapped the Strikers, Levi's immediately contacted Storm. The quickest way to find the abducted Strucker family is to use the power of X-Men. The call is connected. Mr. Orlo is not good. When Storm, who had just fallen asleep, heard this, his face suddenly darkened. I'm fine, you'd better explain it to me, otherwise I'll teach you to respect the teacher when you come back. Levi's was a little embarrassed to hear Storm's complaining voice. After all, anyone who is disturbed so late will have a temper, but he doesn't care. Is such that, he then told Storm what had happened. Knowing that a level 4 mutant was born and was captured by the Hellfire Club, Storm knew it was a serious matter. So he hurriedly got up and knocked on Professor X's door. Soon, Professor X, Cyclops, Chin, and Logan all gathered in the conference room. There is actually a 4th level mutant born, is it true or false? After learning what happened, Cyclops expressed some doubts. It should be true if it's Wiss's kid. Jin still looked very much like Levi's. According to the information just investigated, powerful mutants did appear in the ancestors of the Strucker family. They are called the Strucker twins. But his descendants are nowhere to be seen. It seems that it was the Strucker family that Weiss encountered. Storm reports on the investigation. So what? Wolverine Logan asked. So we have to fully support Wes and we must not let the Struckers fall into the Hellfire Club's hands. Professor X finally spoke. Everyone is meaningless. Should we send reinforcements? Storm asked. No, I believe that Kid will be able to handle this matter. Professor X shook his head. Okay, then we just need to support Wes' target position. Cyclops shrugged. At the same time, on the other hand, Levi's quickly received the target position sent by Storm. In front of the company building where Hellfire Club Rua is located. Levi's and Polaris, Clarice, Thunderbird and others soon arrived. What to do? Do you want to force it? Thunderbird asked. Definitely, this is the easiest and most direct way, isn't it? Levi's smiled and shrugged. He always likes to be straight in his work, and his powerful super ability makes him unnecessary to worry so much. After he finished speaking, he walked straight towards the building. The Thunderbirds, Polaris and others behind him had no choice but to follow. That's when they entered the building. The 3 shadowy Cuckoo sisters reported to Rua that there was a mutant invasion. Rua didn't panic when she got the news. When she robbed the Straker family, she knew that the mutant underground organization would come for trouble. But she was not worried at all, because she had already arranged a response plan. Immediately afterwards, Rua walked downstairs with the 3 multi-shadow Cuckoo sisters. The other side, Levi's and the others were stopped by the security guard at the door as soon as they entered the building. These security guards are just ordinary people, and they were easily knocked out by the invisible Black Harry. The group went to the inside of the building unimpeded. When they came to a dark hall, the lights around them suddenly lit up. Rua and the 3 shadowy Cuckoo sisters have been waiting here for a long time. Welcome to my fellow mutants. I am very clear about your intentions, but can you wait until I finish talking and then decide? Rua looked at everyone calmly and said, I don't think there is anything to talk about between us. Hurry up and hand over the Strucker family. The way is different. Levi's doesn't think he and Rua have anything to say. This guy is purely blackened and wants to take revenge on mankind. Although he is also very sympathetic to what happened to Rua, he does not agree with what she has done. You are the mutant who forcibly broke into the Garland Detention Center to save people. Hello. Rua looked at him with interest, and was able to forcibly break into the Garland Detention Center and come out unscathed. The power of this mutant in front of him was beyond imagination. If she can be recruited, she will be one step closer to her dream. I saw Rua calmly winked at the 3 shadowy Cuckoo sisters beside her. Don't talk nonsense, I'm not interested in what purpose you have. If you don't hand over Strucker, then I'll have to. Before Levi's could finish speaking, he suddenly felt a tingling in his head as if being stabbed by a needle, as if something was about to squeeze into his mind. Humph, he snorted coldly, and the vector operation reflected this annoying thing in an instant. At this moment, the 3 Cuckoo sisters fell to the ground with a cry of pain. All this happened in an instant, and no one reacted. What's the matter? Has the other party made a move? Polaris's hands radiated green light, and he instantly grabbed a large amount of steel bars in the wall and prepared to do it. Thunderbird also looked at Rua vigilantly. All of a sudden, everyone became vigilant. At the moment Levi's face was icy cold. If the feeling just now was correct, the mental power of the three Cuckoo sisters had invaded. The three Cuckoo sisters have the ability to control the mind, and if the three of them use the ability together, they have already reached the third-level mutant. Even a third-level mutant will be unknowingly controlled by mind control. The original Polaris was influenced by the mind control of the three Cuckoo sisters before joining the Hellfire Club. Just now, the three Cuckoo sisters tried to use ability to affect Levi's, but were reflected by his vector manipulation, and the three of them were instantly knocked out by ability backlash. American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator 22. American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator. Chapter 22. Sign into the three Cuckoo sisters, mind control. Levi's was indeed a little caught off guard when he was invaded by spiritual power for the first time. However, this also proved that in the Mutant Academy, Professor X, Chin and others did not use mind control on him. Looking at Rua in front of him, he had murderous intent in his heart. What this woman had done had violated his bottom line. Humph. It seems we have nothing to say. Levi snorted coldly. Your ability is so special that even mind control doesn't work for you. Rua looked at the three fainted Cuckoo sisters and looked at Levi's, and couldn't help but exclaimed, but it was a pity. It's a pity that such a powerful mutant cannot be used by her. Then it can only be destroyed. Clap clap. Rua clapped his hands lightly, and in the next moment many mutants appeared around them. It was estimated that there were more than 30 people. Levi's wrinkled at this, and found that most of these mutants were released from the Garland Detention Center. But I didn't expect to be included by Rua. And because he was wearing a mask when he broke into the Garland Detention Center that day, these people didn't recognize him. Humph. Are these trash fish your trump card? Levi's shook his head disdainfully. It wasn't that he looked down on these mutants. In his eyes, these mutants were just some trash. I'm giving you a chance, Polaris, I appreciate you, come to my side, I'll build a perfect mutant country. Seeing that he couldn't fool him, Rua started fooling Polaris again. No one will help you, give up. Polaris refused without hesitation. How about you, Thunderbird? As the leader of the mutant underground organization, if you come to my side, I will. Stop dreaming. Do you think these people can keep us? Thunderbird interrupted her directly. He didn't think these people could keep them at all. Looks like there's nothing to say. So sorry, Rua said and clapped his hands again. The next moment, I saw that the space around them was abnormal, and the pieces of space seemed to be reversed, which was shocking. Levi's was startled and suddenly thought of a mutant. Her name is Rebecca, and she is the most destructive mutant among the abilities. Its ability is to manipulate the dimension of space, and what it is best at is to reverse the inside and outside of an object, that is, the outside becomes the inside, and the inside becomes the outside. This kind of ability is really scary, and Levi's is not sure that vector operations can block this trick. Besides, even if he could block it, Thunderbird and Polaris and others couldn't. At a critical juncture, he instantly found Rebecca, who was hiding in the mutant and was casting ability. Teleportation came behind Rebecca, and a hand knife knocked her out. The whole process was lightning fast. As Rebecca fainted, the spatial reversal also stopped. Levi sighed in relief. Unexpectedly, the group was almost wiped out. Thinking of this, he was not talking nonsense, and all the mutants were frozen in place in an instant when he used freeze control. It's over. Levi's looked at Rua coldly. Really, Rua didn't give up. She still had the last trump card. I saw her mouth open wide, invisible infrasounds came out, and the mutants whose feet were frozen suddenly showed painful expressions. Thunderbird, Polaris and others on the side also covered their ears in pain. Infrasonic attack. No use for me. Levi's shook his head disdainfully, and then came to Rua with an infrasound wave and punched her firmly in the stomach. Pity Shangxiu. Sorry, he doesn't have the slightest interest in black girls. Under the fist that manipulated the vector, Rua was directly knocked out by a seemingly light punch. Levi's didn't just kill her because she was still useful. He also wants the super ability infrasound, but he only has one chance to sign in today. Rebecca's ability to reverse the space must be obtained. The horror of the destructive power of this ability is really shocking. There is also the mind control of the three shadowy cuckoo sisters. Yes, mind control. Levi's eyes lit up, and instead of killing them, it was better to use mind control to completely control them. In this way, you can also leave some trump cards for yourself, at least not short of money. Do it when you think of it. He directly checked in the three cuckoo sisters with multiple shadows. Open black lens bracket ding. Did the host check in with the three mutant cuckoo sisters? Close black lens bracket. Yes, sign me in. Open black lens bracket ding. The sign-in is successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the super ability, Mind Control, with 100 experience points. Close black lens bracket. The system defaulted to checking in the three cuckoo sisters at the same time, which he did not expect. But that's fine too. And the super ability he obtained was not what he expected, it was Mind Control. And he has a lot of mind control abilities, such as reading memory, reading mind, reciting with distant objects, thinking elimination, will augmentation, thinking reproduction, emotional transplantation, memory modification, etc. It can be said that his mind control has almost all the abilities that he should have. Thinking of this, the corners of Levi's mouth twitched slightly, and it was time to implement his plan. Weiss, what should we do now? Polaris and Clarice, who had been making soy sauce, also gathered around at this time. They must have hidden the Strucker family somewhere. You can find them separately. I still have some things to do. Well, that's good. Thunderbird and Polaris agreed, and then parted ways to search the building. American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator 23. Chapter 23 Triplets Become Quintuplets. Levi's was the only one left in the hall. He came to Rua and used mind control to directly invade Rua's spiritual world. In the spiritual world, Levi saw fragments of memories of Rua growing up. Before Blacken, Rua was also a simple little white flower, but it's a pity that since her good friend was killed, she was completely blackened. He didn't watch Rua's memory too much, he directly deleted the memory that led to Rua Blacken. Then the memory of him was reimplanted. After doing all this, Levi's withdrew from Rua's spiritual world. Immediately after, he came to the fainted Rebecca in the same way, and also implanted the idea of recognizing him as the master. This idea cannot be resisted. From this moment on, they will be Levi's faithful servants. Finally he came to the three cuckoo sisters. The three sisters are triplets, with blonde hair, blue eyes and bumps. Levi's took a closer look and found that the three not only had the same face, but also almost the same body. Exactly the same triplets, this completely hit his XP. Levi's remembered that they were supposed to be clones of the White Queen, not triplets at first, but quintuplets. It's just that the organization left two of them as hostages and coerced the other three to work for the organization. I just don't know if the other two are still there. In the original book, the other two were killed. Without thinking too much, Levi's used mind control to invade one of them's spiritual space. However, miraculously, his mind control was actually linked with the spirits of the three cuckoo sisters. The three cuckoo sisters have the same soul, and they can perceive each other's thoughts from each other. And at the moment Levi's was able to view the memories of three people at the same time. As much as he knew, after being created by the Hellfire Club, two of them were held hostage somewhere. Fortunately, through the perception of the five sisters' mutual spiritual connection, the two people who were taken as hostages did not die. And according to what he had just checked Rua's memory, she seemed to know where the two sisters were being held. Thinking of this, Levi's checked Rua's memory again and found that the two sisters were hidden in the basement of the building. This is really ingenious. It was at this time. The three cuckoo sisters woke up at the same time. Perhaps because at the moment Levi's is still connected with them, the three sisters are very kind to him. Facing the kind gazes from the three, Levi's didn't want to modify their memories. I know you're working for the Hellfire Club because two sisters were taken hostage, and I can help you get them out. Without speaking, Levi's told the three directly his words through telepathy. The three at the moment had absolutely no privacy in front of him. The three cuckoo sisters looked at each other and nodded at the same time. As long as you help us rescue them, we are willing to work for you. Okay, it's a deal. Levi's agreed decisively. In telepathy, he didn't find the three sisters to lie in the slightest, so he believed them very much. Then he took the three cuckoo sisters to the underground base of the building. Because of Rua's memory, he easily found the remaining 2 cuckoo sisters hidden deep underground. The 2 are now in a deep sleep, and the way to wake them up is very simple. After some operation, the 2 really woke up. The 3 cuckoo sisters have become 5 sisters, and their mind control network is more powerful, and there is a faint trend of 4th level mutants. At the same time, Levi's mind control can also join the mind network of the 5 cuckoo sisters, and occupy an absolute dominant position. Owner. The 5 cuckoo sisters stood in front of him, bending over to salute at the same time. Looking at the 5 people who were almost identical, Levi's only felt that his collecting addiction had been satisfied like never before. Very good, you will still help Rua to control this place in the future. Don't worry, Rua is still under my control, and you will be the masters of this place in the future. Yes, master, the 5 cuckoo sisters said in unison. Don't call me master, just call me Wes. The title of the master is too embarrassing, and those who don't know it think they are playing role-playing. Leaving the underground with the 5 cuckoo sisters, it happened that Thunderbird and Polaris also came back. The Strucker family has also been found and brought out. Weiss, are they? Polaris looked suspiciously at the 5 identical cuckoo sisters standing behind him. If she remembered correctly, these people should be from the Hellfire Club. Thunderbird and the others also looked over in confusion. Don't worry, they're just being threatened when they work for the Hellfire Club. Levi's explained it briefly. Everyone understood after hearing it. It's amazing, it's actually quintuplets. Clarice looked at the nearly identical 5 people in surprise. Okay, since you are all right, Mr. Strucker, let's get out of here. Levi said to the Strucker family. Thanks a lot, Reed said gratefully. He knew that if Levi's hadn't come to save them, I'm afraid they wouldn't end well, and the best outcome would be imprisonment. Sons and daughters are threatened to do things for him. Thank you. Reed's wife Caitlin also nodded in thanks. Behind him, Lauren and Andrew looked curiously at the handsome man in front of them. Don't say thank you, let's go. Levi's waved his hand nonchalantly. The most important thing to him was to be able to sign on them. If I remember correctly, Reed is also a mutant with super ability, but his grandfather used special medicine to suppress his mutant genes since he was a child. As a result, he is still just an ordinary person. But once Reed's mutant genes are activated again, his ability will become uncontrollable. After returning to Mutant College, this matter must be explained to Professor X. And Levi's is happy to have another person who can sign in. American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator 24. American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator. Chapter 24 Signing in to read, Atomic Collapse. After making some arrangements for Rua and the 5 cuckoo sisters, Levi's and Thunderbird escorted the Struckers back to the headquarters of the Mutant Underground Organization. Mr. Strucker, you can live here temporarily. I will contact Professor X to pick you up soon, and you will be very safe at Mutant College. I hope you can have a new beginning. In front of the stage, Levi's smiled at Reed next to him with a glass of red wine in his hand. Yeah, thanks a lot. Reed didn't know what to say except for the words of thanks. Although the mutant in front of him was still very young, it gave him an inexplicable pressure. Don't be so nervous. Levi's couldn't help laughing when he saw his silence. By the way, Mr. Strucker, if you guessed correctly, you should also be a mutant. Me. It's impossible. Reed shook his head and didn't believe what he said at all. He never found out that he had super ability when he grew up. How could he be a mutant? Don't be in a hurry to deny it. Remember that your father often injects you with a drug. Levi's words left Reed pondering that his father had indeed injected him with a drug since he was a child before he understood how it worked. Now that he heard this, he immediately thought of it. That's right, the drug your father injected you with is the drug that inhibits the mutant gene. Although this drug can inhibit the mutant gene, once the mutant gene in your body is activated, it will be out of control, and even your whole person may die from being unable to control ability. God, what should I do? Caitlin was a little anxious. Weiss, you must have a solution, right? The more sensible Lauren also looked at him anxiously. Don't worry too much, Mr. Strucker, the mutant gene in your body has not been activated yet. After you arrive at the Mutant Academy, Professor X will solve this trouble for you. Levi said this to reassure them that they could go to Mutant Academy, otherwise no one could save them. Hearing what he said, the Reed family was relieved a lot. It was getting late. Levi's went back to the room and checked the system panel. Open black lens bracket host. Levi's close black lens bracket. Super ability. Vector operation, space movement, freezing control, fire control, energy absorption, electromagnetic force, evolution, mind control. Super ability level. LV.3 Level 3 Mutant. Experience value. 1700. Now he has as many as 8 super abilities, and each super ability is very powerful, and he only needs to sign in 3 more times to upgrade to LV4. The 4th level mutant is already a very powerful existence in this world, not to mention the 4th level mutant with many super abilities like Levi's. At that time, he will have a real right to speak in this dangerous Marvel world. Without thinking too much, Levi's just lay down and rested. In the next few days, Levi's checked in Reva and Rebecca respectively, and obtained 2 powerful abilities, Super Infrasound and Space Reversal. The power of these 2 abilities is beyond doubt. Super Infrasound can release infrasound attacks, ordinary humans shrouded in infrasounds will faint, and even mutants cannot use ability at all. And the ability of Space Reversal is even more perverted, because the general means of strike at the space level cannot be defended at all. Having obtained these 2 powerful super abilities, he was not too happy, because the real happiness is still to come. Just need to successfully sign in again, then he can become a 4th level mutant. And this time the sign-in target, Levi's chose Reed Strucker. From the original book, he knew that Reed's ability was very strong, and he remembered that in the plot, when Reed's X gene could not be suppressed, his hands turned red. No matter what he touches, it will collapse instantly. This collapse is more like destroying the molecular structure, causing the object to collapse instantly. That's why he put the sign-in target on the other side. Yo, is Mr. Strucker still used to it these days? In the living room, Levi's found Reed in front of the table. Oh, not bad. Reed shrugged while drinking red wine. After getting along for the past few days, the Reed family has become familiar with everyone, and they are still very grateful to Levi's. Hee, that's fine. Levi's smiled and checked Reed. Open black lens bracket ding. Did the host check in on mutant Reed Strucker? Close black lens bracket. Sign me in. Open black lens bracket ding. The sign-in is successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the super ability, Atomic Collapse, with 100 experience points. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully upgrading the super ability level. The current super ability level is LV4, 4th level mutant. Levi's was a little shocked by the sound of 2 prompts. Unexpectedly, I signed the super ability of Atomic Collapse. The Strucker twins have the ability to manipulate molecules, and Reed, their father, should also have the ability to manipulate molecules. And Reed can make the molecular structure collapse and disintegrate, which is equivalent to the atomic collapse. I see. Thinking of this, Levi's was a little excited. The ability of atomic collapse is very powerful. I remember that Academy City has atomic collapse called Shiri Mujino, and she can easily release the atomic collapse beam. But all objects hit by the beam will collapse instantly. Its destructive power is even higher than that of the railgun, but it is ranked below the railgun because it is difficult to control. American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator 25. American Comics. Opening sign in Accelerator. Chapter 25 promoted to the 4-level mutant, was seen by Lorna. At the same time, after the super ability level was upgraded to LV4, Levi's only felt that his whole body was hot, and his super ability was evolving. After saying hello to Reed, he quickly returned to the room. At the moment, he was already wet with sweat, and the muscles in his whole body became stronger because of the super ability of evolution. The body, which originally took several days to evolve, also quickly completed the evolution with the improvement of the super ability level. An hour later, Levi's came out of the bathroom. At the moment, he was so different from who he was before. I saw that his whole person's energy became very full, and it seemed that people's eyes lit up. At the same time, the muscles of the whole body have become extremely perfect, and the streamlined muscles look very beautiful. At the moment, he can only use 2 words to describe him, and that is perfection. If you are seen by some women, you will definitely not help screaming. Just like this. Yeah, Levi's, who was admiring herself in front of the mirror, didn't expect the door to be opened suddenly. Miss Polaris couldn't help screaming when she saw Levi's. Hey, Levi's was shocked, but Polaris came in without knocking on the door. He just took a shower and didn't get dressed. He even used the space move, and in a split second, he ducked into the bathroom and closed the door. What happened? At this time, everyone was attracted by the screams of Polaris. Cough cough, it's nothing, I'm just a little surprised that Weiss is not in the room. Polaris smiled calmly and shrugged, indicating that nothing happened. Everyone was a little puzzled, and Clarice looked into the room, but she didn't see Levi's, so she believed her words. When the crowd dispersed, Polaris quickly entered the room and locked the door. After Levi's changed his clothes and went to the living room, the corners of his mouth twitched when he saw Polaris, who still hadn't left. I didn't expect to be seen by accident. It stands to reason that the 5 senses of the body that he has just evolved will become incomparably sharp, but it is true, his whole body has become stronger in the evolution. It's just that he was completely immersed in self-appreciation at the time. But then again, as expected, boys must protect themselves when they are outside. What should I do if I've been seen by Polaris now? I can't see it back after all. That, a good figure. Polaris looked at him hotly and praised. Forehead. The way Levi's looked at Polaris only felt a little creepy, as if he was going to be eaten. He coughed dryly and said, "Cough, that I suddenly remembered that I have something to look for Thunderbird." However, Polaris suddenly stopped in front of him. "I can't wait, Wes, I love you." As he said that, Polaris rushed towards him. "Hey, Lorna, calm down." Levi's was shocked, not expecting Polaris to come true. At a critical moment, he left the room by moving in one space. Looking back at the room, Levi's breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't expect Polaris to be so bold and unrestrained that he would push him back in broad daylight. "It's all my fault for my damn face and figure, even Miss Polaris can't hold it." Thinking of this, he couldn't help but feel a little proud. Where did you go, Weiss?" Clarice happened to see him at this moment. Just now Polaris said that he was not in the room. She was a little curious, but she didn't expect to be here after searching for a long time. "Oh, just wandering around. Clarice walks us out for a walk. Levi's is in a good mood, so I plan to go out for a walk." "Yeah," Clarice readily agreed. The two left Mutants' underground headquarters while chatting. In his spare time, Levi's looked at his system panel. Open black lens bracket host. Levi's close black lens bracket. Super ability. Vector operation, space movement, freeze control, fire control, energy absorption, electromagnetic force, evolution, telepathy, super infrasound, space reversal, atomic collapse. Super ability level. LV.4 level 4 mutant. Experience value. 10,000 over 0. After the level was raised to LV4, the experience value required to upgrade to the 5th level mutant directly doubled tenfold. That is to say, if he gets 100 experience points according to the success of the sign-in, then he only needs to sign in 100 people to be promoted to LV5. If he signs in once a day, that means it only takes 3 months for him to upgrade to LV5. Thinking of this, he was in a good mood. After strolling around with Clarice, the two returned to the underground headquarters of Mutant. Polaris felt a little uncomfortable seeing the two coming back together, but since Clarice was her good sister, she couldn't say anything. The next day, Levi's got up early in the morning and his goal today was to sign on the Strucker twins. After all, Storm will soon arrange for someone to take the Strucker family away, and if you want to sign in, you need to go back. Hey, Lauren. When Levi's found Lauren, she was teaching her brother Andrew how to control ability. At the moment Andrew is looking at a bottle of Coke intently. His purpose is to let the Coke in the bottle flow into the glass. Lauren has done it once before. With the ability to control molecules, she can easily do it. Weiss. Lauren's eyes lit up when she saw Levi's approaching. She was so handsome. She had never seen such a handsome man before. Although I knew he was handsome before, but today he is too dazzling. Are you practicing ability? Levi's came to Lauren and laughed. Blonde Lauren is a standard Western beauty. At the age of 16, she already has a very hot figure. It can be said that her appearance is at its peak. Well, I'm teaching Andrew to contact manipulators. Lauren nodded with a smile. You can see he's working hard. Levi's smiled and then checked in directly to Lauren. Please like and subscribe.